time for another round of Brandy. Candid conversations over cocktails about all things brand. With your hosts, Reilly Newman and Scott Saunders, the brand developers behind Motif Brands.
Reilly, what are we going to chat about? We're kind of, usually a lot of times we'll have like a lot of points and things kind of battened down, and today we're kind of like, it'll be interesting to see where this conversation goes, because we're just going to be kind of loosely talking about a topic, and I'm kind of excited about it.
It's like an improv episode.
Oh,
this will be like,
good
whose
Lord.
line is it anyways?
Oh my
but
gosh,
Brandy.
But you brought up a topic of like, it was something you said. It was like
Inline versus online.
Yeah, inline versus online. I'm like, what the heck does that supposed to mean?
And so this comes from across different industries. You're seeing this resurgence of people wanting to go in store, wanting to dine in, wanting to not do just DoorDash or order something online, but actually go down to the storefront and partake of the environment, the people, the place, or even how malls, the resurgence of malls, that's been on the uptick, and you're getting a lot of these, kind of key indicators that there's a behavioral shift. And so I thought that was kind of interesting, is that, are we just seeing this kind of the tip of the iceberg start to show of going, okay, is this the start of something new? Just like in 2020, we saw this huge shift of people going to digital, almost by force, but it created this entire movement.
Online, yeah. I mean, even the act of ordering food and having someone else fill the cart and come out to your car and hand it to you, this kind of touch, and they were all gloved. I mean, it was like it. And
those were the days.
Today, I am so amazed. I go into my grocery store, my big chain grocery store in town, and there's so many like lines of those blue bins with online orders that people have placed, and there's I run into the employees all the time with their carts, and they're looking at these lists and trying to find something on the shelf and put it in the basket. I'm just like, it's so weird, because I feel like shopping is also an experience.
Yep.
It is. And sometimes it's a chore, but it's still, I don't know, there's something about it that I like, and feel like there's a swing to wanting to re-embrace analog.
Yeah.
Like right now, I think analog clocks are kind of, I've seen more and more like certain things. I wouldn't be surprised if dial phones started to come back in fashion, and I don't know.
That would actually be really cool.
Have a big old dial phone on your new cell phones. So
I think it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think you're seeing the pendulum start to swing, because the over digitization of humans, which is like, so here's the problem I have, is that Amazon redefined convenience. Amazon miraculously figured out how to make 2-day shipping, 1-day shipping, 24 hours. Like they figured out how to do these things that now Walmart and everyone can do as well. But the optimization and logistics to get that done was pretty much the opposite of what humans are. Humans need slack. Humans are messy. Humans aren't optimized, right? And so we get that, and that's what we call convenience. And in business, I think convenience has, a lot of people think that convenience is a value add, but I think it's a value add in the same way that doing discounts or sales is a value add. Is that it's a fleeting, it's almost like it's not tangible. You can't catch it. And you'll always it's like a race to the bottom of who's the most convenient, who can deliver it faster, who can do this, who can do that. And so we've almost reached this tipping point where if everything is convenient, then what's the value of convenience?
It's almost like a reset.
Yeah,
that perk now longer is not a perk, because everyone's got the same perk. So now they all cancel each other out. Now you're on even playing field again.
And then we almost develop this appreciation for, oh wow, it took them longer. Like it starts becoming this reverse, like, oh wow, it actually was, it wasn't instant, ice cream out of the thing, but it was actually homemade, churned ice cream or whatever, where it takes more time. It takes attention, it takes care, and it takes someone actually being there and doing it. And so I think you're seeing this not only on restaurants that all kind of started doing these giant POS systems where you go in and beep, bop, boop, 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 put in your order, and then not ever talk to anyone, just pick up the food and walk out. That, I think, is going to reset, because people need that interaction, which doesn't mean you're not going to have robotics and optimization on the back of the house. That's totally fine. But on the front end, you need human interaction. You got to have that. And that's going to help create that environment and those kind of moments of engagement.
The soda.
the soda. And it helps with also security issues and monitoring.
Well, just to give context, you were in one of these like
Fast
it's a
food.
fast food chain that we won't name, and you were down in L.A. area, Los Angeles area. And it was in a a little bit more seedy part of town, and
This guy just comes in and starts filling
and
up
it was
with
like
soda.
fully automated, right? It had like the touchpad, like you didn't even know if there was any.
No, all the employees are tucked behind in the kitchen or doing drive-through, because that's also part of the problem that Starbucks got in trouble for that, where they just focused too much on drive-through and order or mobile orders. And so the staff is completely absent. There's no humans. And then some people just come in, we're filling up big old jugs with soda, and then we'd walk out. Obviously not customers. And they just
jugs of soda.
And I'm like,
Bakers
okay,
walking on the street.
Granted, it was a hot day, so maybe it was a
free soda. But again, it was like that weird of like, even if just there had been like someone behind the counter, people wouldn't be inclined to do that. But we get so like autonomous. It's like a walk-in vending machine.
Yeah.
And I don't find like I hate vending machines. There's something so weird about
It's cheap. And yes, it is. It's convenient. And actually, good point. Good point. A vending machine is very convenient. But how do you feel when you get something out of a vending machine? It's very either frustrating because it gets stuck, or it's like junky food because that's the only thing that can last in something that convenient that is not refrigerated or whatever. And then when you're eating it, you kind of just feel like trash after, because usually it's just not that great of an experience, and it's, I don't know. But I think that's the point here, is that convenience. What's the value of convenience in all of this? Is that, again, Rory Sutherland talks about this too, with even waiting in line and people having to do things like that, or waiting on a train, or the train's a good example, because in Europe, he talks about how sometimes the train versus automobile transportation, sure, the car can be faster and get you there quicker, but the train can offer a more scenic route that's more enjoyable, and you're not having to focus on driving, you're not having to do these, right? So then you're dealing with different levers of value. Yeah. And at what point then is the train, and especially when he's talking about this like European trains, I'm like thinking like Hogwarts, like
no, you're not on the Hogwarts Express.
It's way worse. And the tube in London was disgusting. That was like,
we went on a bunch of rails in Italy when we were in Italy in April, and it was like, I loved it.
It was clean.
Their train, the stations were good. That everything was like really. And a lot of people in Italy. I mean, there's more people take the train, to get around, because they have the high-speed rails, and then even along the coastlines and things like that. So, but
even that, it's like you get the scenery, and that's kind of like waiting in line when you go somewhere. When you go to a restaurant, sit down, and you don't just get it DoorDash to your home. And yes, that is convenient. You can stay on the couch the entire time, and it's appropriate in some scenarios. I guess if you're watching a movie or something, but are we seeing this resurgence of human-to-human interaction and people in search for something that's real and that is, tangible? Yeah.
I went into one of those places. It was again like a burger joint. They had, you walk in and there's a big touchpad, right? You put in your order, and then I guess it's already getting the queue, right? And just beyond that, though, they still had and you do payment right there. It's all touchless. And then beyond that, they had what would have been and what used to be the order in, where you'd stand up to place your order. And there was a guy hanging out back there. So I'm like, I don't want to do this thing. I want to talk to someone. So why not? Because I actually had a question about their fries. I wasn't going to get that from that board. Yeah. And then so I walk up and he's like, hey, is there, can I help you? And I'm like, well, yeah, I'd like to, can I place an order? He's like, yeah, well, we have our pad back there. I'm like, I know, but can I place an order with you? He's like, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. I'm like, okay, I want this. And then, and this, does it come like that? And so then I was able to ask the guy some questions and place my order. But it was just kind of funny. It was almost like that became a secondary option. Like, yes, he could take my payment there. He could do all those things, but they were trying to blow through this with just like, I don't know if it's trying to downsize their staffing.
And it is kind of funny because to me, it's like, that's the side that you shouldn't be down staffing. Is the human side, the front facing, face to face, like interaction side. It's like, okay, the back of the house, you have robotics, you have automation that's taken over on that, and that can actually create better quality product as well. But that's inevitable. That's where robotics and AI are going to merge and take some of those jobs. But on the front facing human taking order, creating chit chat, right? it's not just, it's like, that's sales right there too. When they're taking your order, that's all sales, is that they can say certain things. And that's what, even a good example of that is McDonald's with the classic, do you want to, what it was, supersize?
Supersize.
Yeah, that's what it was. That was a young girl in one of McDonald's somewhere started asking that if she'd always just bring that, oh, do you want to make that, they go up to the next big size. And then her sales like went through the roof. That's called salesmanship. Like she was doing that. And then McDonald's caught on to it and was like, why is this store killing it compared to these other ones? And it was just because this girl was doing that. And that's how you got the supersize, all that.
Yeah.
And again, like when I do think about it, there is a difference. A lot of you listen from California, so you know what I'm talking about. But eating in and In-N-Out versus taking In-N-Out home and eating it.
Eating out In-N-Out.
Eating out In-N-Out. It's different. Like sitting,
Yeah.
and if you can't relate to In-N-Out, just think of your favorite restaurant. It's like sitting in that restaurant and eating the meal is way different than eating that meal at home at your dinner table.
Even like we were talking about, like the classic art of like they've got this big pump station for the ketchup, and they got these little plastic little cups. And so if you got to order a lot of fries, or everybody at your table, then you're filling up 3 or 4 of these, and just like the art of like 2 or 3 pumps, pumping this big ketchup into these little paper cups. And getting all the things you want. And whereas you get to go or, a drive-through or takeout, it's going to be ketchup packets. And it's just,
and it's not the same. It's not the same.
I don't know.
I hate getting ketchup out of ketchup packets. That's one of my, it's because it's never enough ketchup in there. It's always like, and then you have to open another one and then you're smearing it. It's just not,
when you have the first corner you peel off, the little foil corner, right?
Yeah.
Because I usually peel it off with my mouth. So it's like I rip it off and then I'm squeezing out, but then I've got this little, foil corner of my mouth. Do I spit it out? I don't know. It becomes messy. They haven't quite figured out how do better packaging for.
Chick-fil-A has the little like plastic containers, and you can squeeze it out or you undress it fully.
Like peel it like a banana,
and it peels back, and it's like a little boat of ketchup.
Well, kind of like the nugget sauces at McDonald's.
Yeah. Where it's a
it's
little more
nugget.
like
it's a little sauce packet, and So,
and so, are we going to see the humanization, this swinging of the pendulum, where you will see companies leaning? Because even Michael's, the craft store, they have giant, like the employees aren't checking out the customers anymore, which I thought that was kind of crazy, especially for Michael's, where you have usually people who work at Michael's are crafty, artsy people, and people who shop at Michael's are crafty, artsy people. And they like to chat, purchasing their stuff. Oh, what are you working on? Oh, I'm doing this, right? They always have something going on. They're showing something. I'm like, that is such a huge missed opportunity for that brand. It'd be like Trader Joe's, like having just robots as their checkout system.
Yeah.
It's like, your customer so well, yet you're completely neglecting them. It's going to be, I bet Michael's will default back.
But again, it's bringing back that whole idea of inline, right? Versus online. And that idea of going back out, human connection, embracing, ways of doing things that were of a gone era.
Yeah.
Before we got so hyper digital and so hyper focused on the phone in our hands, that we've kind of lost that art. We're even like at concerts. Like it amazes me that people pay premium price for tickets, and the whole time they're watching the concert through their phone as they're recording the concert, and you're left like, what do you like? I went to concert when I was a teen, and it's like we just went to the concert. The whole time you're in the moment, and you're celebrating with your friends. You're not glued to your device. Otherwise, you know what? A lot of people have recorded things on YouTube. Go on, you want to see so and so's concert? Yeah. Go on, you can find it on YouTube. Someone recorded on YouTube.
Probably a better recording too,
and it's cheaper. But if you're gonna pay the price and go to the ticket, then get back into celebrating life.
Yeah, and I think to kind of put a bow on it is that this does Jeff Bezos and all of his infinite wisdom. When he was doing Amazon, I think what he uncovered was our need to buy things is different than our desire to shop. And I think when you look at shopping versus buying, what's key to buying is affordance, whether it's financial affordance or time affordance to be able to go out and go buy that thing. So then you get into convenience, right? And both those things, convenience and sales, like I mentioned at the beginning, is like both those, you can do discounts, you can make something more convenient. That's on the buying side of it. The shopping side of it is completely experiential. That's completely where lines get blurry, where things become more Disneyland.
You don't go try on a dress by taking it into the dressing room, trying it on. You buy it, and free returns. So now all of a sudden you're shipping it back, and so you buy it whether you like it, whether it looks good on you, whether it fit. You're already committing and spending the time and waste of all that stuff to have it shipped and then returned, as opposed to going that experiential shopping. Like you said, going down to the boutique and picking out a few things and going to the dressing room and trying them on and see if you like them.
Well, and how much of that, especially I would love to know from female shoppers, how much of that, of going in the dressing room, trying on different things, of that feeling, even if you don't buy anything, how much of that is most of the enjoyment of doing that, versus now they do like, oh, you can take a picture of yourself or do a video, and you can do VR
and
or
it'll
AR.
show you what the dress looks like
and I'm
on
like,
you.
dude, that's such a masculine, like, a guy thought of that, like, oh, this is way faster and way more convenient, oh, everyone will want to do this. Well, that's a guy shopping. That's not.
Well, and I would say well, let's be honest. I mean, I think we can't limit it to male or female shopping. It's like
majority.
The people that enjoy shopping, clothes shopping, and enjoy wearing nice clothes and trying stuff, right?
Upload a video of themselves.
As opposed to people that, their only shopping is at, at clothes shopping is at, I don't know, Costco or
Kirkland.
And
that's why I'm like,
their brand label.
Again, it's like thinking of, oh, what is someone actually...
They're getting steaks and liquor and then, sweats.
Yeah. In any aspect of business, you do have the shopping versus buying kind of two sides of the coin. And I just feel like everything has gone too far to the buying side of it. And that's AKA, convenience, accessibility, all these things that are just, and rightfully so, these companies figured out, oh, wow, we can make these things pretty much get people on subscriptions, get people to almost just become addicted to it, where they're buying things and they forget to return it, and then they can't return it. So then we still make money, right? Like, they figured out how to gamify this, and that's different than the shopping experience. And really what my main thing that makes me happy about this is that the shopping experience is really that goes to Main Street. Those are the small businesses and the boutiques that have that advantage, that they're able to create a cool, unique shopping experience that some of these huge companies like Nordstrom or whoever can't. They're too big. They can't focus like that.
Yeah. And again, with anything with your business and brand, keep your eye on the room. Read the room. Read the horizon of what is new or what trends seem to be emerging. Even though if it's not affect you particularly, at least be aware of it.
Well, until next time, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.